I guess, key indicators. Which players should I be noticing here? I kind of know FNATIC, so I'm not too fussed about that. Who's the standout for you from TENSTAR, at least thus far?
I mean, for me, I'm looking towards Polvi. And again, I know the Des touched on this matchup and really seeing, I guess, if you want to talk about, you know, duels, this is going to be one of the bigger ones, right? So seeing how he faces off against Durka, I'm interested to see. Actually, a slow start for the pistol round right now. FNATIC trying to gather some information. TENSTAR not really giving too much away. At least early on here. No trade-off of utility either. Now that's important to note on a pistol round. Very, very slow in approach. The only thing invested so far is a spray.
Oh, Stanley's going to have the surprise of his life in a second. 50 seconds on the board. Mystic. There's no hurry on this. Okay, 48. Our drone goes down. Stanley has to respect it. Wall goes up. He peels away. It is I'd say a 3-play stack towards A for the defensive side. They did have Sova kind of sitting somewhere in between. But the side will be taking. FNATIC cleanly taking this, and it's an instant posture towards retake.
Yeah, and actually, they're going to opt to do a much deeper wall here.
Spike planted.
Actually split the site in half. They have full control of Snowman here, so TENSTAR got it all to do on this retake, and that wall drops, and look at that, Doma and Mystic will open things up. Brody and Russ fall, Stanley for good measure too. Just leaving two left.
We get hard mode casting. The UI's just bailed out on us. This is what we live for here.
It's 2v4, I think.
We'll be very vague with our statements. Non-committal, you may say. It is down to the Killjoy and the Jet to do something with this, but pulling these players out of positions is going to be tricky, quite complementary. Magnum to find one, Doma with the other. And it's FNATIC with the first. I feel like I'm going to have to keep track of the scoreline as well, just in case. Yep.
Yep. It's 1-0. I know that much. A clean pistol round by FNATIC. Again, just... I think investing in that setup for with Stanley, I mean, being the only one to hold down B, at the point where they get absolutely no contact on A, you've almost got to commit, or at least one person to be, you know, watching the cross on mid, or playing towards tube or towards orange or something. Yeah, I think it's a little too much for Stanley to stop.
Yep.
That from happening in the pistol, at least. Now, I don't believe that is the weapons that we're coming into this round with, because I do see Spectres across the board, so do bear with us, guys. FNATIC here looking to try and find an opening onto A side this time, at least initially. Durka inspecting
Brody's been
pipes area.
flashbanged. Bloody hell. Hope he's alright. At this point, if we could, production, just take off the UI. Genuinely. It's actually... Yep, lovely. Yep, appreciate it. That's much easier. I know it sucks, guys, at home. Once it's fixed up, we'll throw it back up, but at least now we can kind of just... Magnum, that's not actually your... Bloody behave! FNATIC going to be going back through this. Similar results here. They will be fixing up that UI as we speak, but Magnum, you can't have that picture and hold mid like an animal. It's horrible. Imagine that. You're watching this back. You're TENSTAR, you're like, right, let's have a little watch here of how he got that 3K in mid. That's quite frustrating. And you just got that grin, that absolutely shit-eating grin looking at you.
Like a Cheshire cat.
Absolutely. But, again, they've kind of noted that player in towards middle, so maybe get even check on where that weapon might be taken. There it is. Doma removes that from Cray, and it's down to Stanley now, and Dirk has managed to catch him. So FNATIC quite clean on this approach, and they've identified B as the end destination. I want to see what the adjustment is, though, coming back in from TENSTAR, because as it stands, 2-0, if you're just tuning in, the UI will be fixed up. We're aware. We're aware. I kind of need to see that adjustment. I don't know where it comes from, though. It's not an easy one to control that B piece.
No, it's, I mean, beyond this round is where we start maybe questioning the setup from TENSTAR. We'll see what they do with the buy round. Again, initially very, very clean for FNATIC. Well handled. Risk management there, especially on that second round, to negate any possibility TENSTAR getting something done. Time again, it's going to be Magnum and Durka to explore a site, at least towards that pipes position. Get noted by the owl drone, but only one noted. Russ now going to creep forwards on the back of that. Yeah, not expecting that second player. Like I said, the owl drone fortunately baited in.
That's a rifle.
It is.
Now, it's going to be maybe a little tricky to get your mittens on, as Brody is going to be trying to keep control of that. FNATIC are creeping this way, and obviously we saw for the first 2 rounds that B hit. Now it does seem as though it's coming towards A, and the clear towards B long is 100% indicating towards Brody that, yeah, it's coming my way through. Right, rifle now picked up and thrown through towards Durka. Let's see what he can get. Absolutely nothing. In the middle of the open, Magnum with the punish, and the site now taken. Durka unflinching. Camera's working, I promise. And now the spike to be planted, TENSTAR, you know, maybe they would address that B problem, but then they've gone and hit that A site. So now you're going to have 3 players maybe looking to find, I don't know, what are you going to do, punish Spectres? You ain't going to get much more from it. Magnum's found Polvi. This is not looking good. Poor old Stanley's been having an absolute nightmare of a game so far, dealing with those B pieces, now trying to retake towards A. At this point, hey!
It looks accurate too.
Would you look at that? And keeping hold of the rifles might be probably the name of the game. And
I guess preventing them from retrieving as well. Stanley going to find Magnum and Mystic. Again here, forcing, well, I guess forcing them to hold on to what they've got, which is actually, obviously after Durka upgrades, the 2 rifles for FNATIC. So, again, that's the 3rd on the board. This is the point now where, again, no real pace change at all from FNATIC. Again, same sort of fact finders in the early round, and this time again, I mean, just well navigated, right? With the Al Jones spotting out 1 player, Magnum taking full responsibility for that happening, and Durka's position going unnoted first of all, and then finding the kill off it is it's really it's no investment for basically the best possible way to start a bonus round.
I'm happy to be seeing Magnum having some good form here, especially on the cage. I love what he could bring with that in the past. I'm probably one of my more favoured players, especially on this map. I think that's when we saw him really, especially in Iceland as well, highlight how good he is at that control. So any more of that, and I'm always going to be pleased. Now, the switch up here from Stanley is to get aggressive, and it's a great adjustment. It does only garner him 1, but it's going to at least deny the same old, I guess, approach coming in from FNATIC. And I don't mind that. They're trying to be disruptive, but a 4v4 will still somewhat favour the attack inside, let alone take into account the rifles that are on the board for FNATIC.
That's the sort of kill you look for in a round like this, but with no secondary layer to that. My question is, I mean, Polvi potentially can recover that. FNATIC elsewhere.
You should run.
To put the pressure onto A side. The lockdown actually invested. Russet's a fantastic shot onto Durka.
No 30 seconds left.
Nothing they can do about this lockdown here. They got to respect it for the time being.
Yep.
But it is a 3v3.
Coming back.
Definitely doable here for TENSTAR. 2 rifles, Brody on the Sheriff, and no plant just yet. Actually, Doma going to retrieve the orb and then get the plant so his ultimate's online. Potentially considering that res.
Oh, V, let's see it. How much you got in the tank here, bud? No one's giving him that first step in. You could see maybe he could have found Magnum, but they are so committed to these angles. There's the double swing off the back of the kind of peak. Brody's done well to actually find that and bring this back to a 1v1, but even then, Magnum's still able to buy information and time, unsure of the position, and the man who does not blink, who does not move, who merely grins, will get another good bit of work from Magnum here. Having a good series. Again, not flashy, not wild and, you know, crazy, but 8-2 is pretty respectable at this point.
You should
Yes, indeed, and this is where really we look towards the depth of a team like TENSTAR, considering these recent performances. Let's see what kind of responses they can put together here. Polvi now on the operator, Bladestorm available, nothing else online just yet for TENSTAR. So on the flip side, that Mystic 1 away from the Viper's pit. Polvi actually drifting all the way down B lane to try and find this. Aldrone actually gonna get the tag. Stanley unable to take first contact on that, and that's gonna be the green light for FNATIC to hit the rotate. Actually, don't like the look of that at all.
I've just realised where I recognised Russ from. I was casting an event back in, I think, 2019. It was a find, you know, the upcoming stars of the UK, and Russ actually was one of them. He got to play with old Henry G. And look at the man now, already getting himself in a great position here, moving forward, does at least get one. Traded out by Doma in the end, I do miss the birthday hat, but it is a 4v4, and look at this position from Mystic, this is perfection, you could not ask for anything better, and Mystic laps it up, punishment aplenty, and poor old Stanley once again, feeling somewhat irrelevant to this, Mystic just flexing on them, this is a clean start from FNATIC.
Mystic looking sharp once again, I mean, yesterday, he looked on point. Already today, reaffirming that. 5-0. I gotta say, this it almost feels like coast mode for FNATIC. This is just back to basics. Looking so clinical right now. TENSTAR gonna put the brakes on. We'll call this tactical timeout and see if there's anything we can bring back in response, really, because right now, I mean, they're not even able to stop this momentum in terms of the economy. The rounds that FNATIC have won, they're taking away what they need to. I mean, look at it now. It's Mystic down on 3k. Durka one off the Bladestorm, so we know they've got an extra weapon in hand. Even if they do get hard reset in the next 2 rounds, I think even then, they still have a round in hand.
It's mad. You got Brams, who was in the same tournament as Russ back in, 2019. He played for I think, the French side. You had... I love this. I love the fact that these players have been trying to break into the, the esports scene to be, pushing to that next competitive level. So long ago, and now this is their big shot. This is so sick to me. I couldn't... you look at someone's face, you're like, why do I know you? And that is so cool. I'm so glad that is actually a player that I get to enjoy now. Seeing how well they do. So far, though, it is a 5-0. And FNATIC have been pretty rough with it at this point. They haven't been kind at all. Polvi could do well here. That's a good start. Needs a follow-up. Can't get it. Magnum, good trade again. Magnum is ever-present, it feels like. Polvi now losing life. The res does come out, so FNATIC really back up to form. Dirk is just fine. And, of course, the rest of the purchase is far from perfect here, sadly, for TENSTAR. They're down to odds and ends. Prey's done well there towards Mystic. Could have done with another. Not going to happen. Yeah, this is FNATIC keeping things clean. Hypoc, how do you break a FNATIC when they look like this? This doesn't look like there's a flaw in the approach.
No. This is the thing with FNATIC, kind of they hit this rhythm. It's so comfortable, and it's so hard to break them. It's right there. Even so, it's like, yeah, first blood, cool, okay, we respond, res, back up, and then it's not even just like full W key, right? It's just we're just gonna sweep through one by one, and again, you're not peeking into kind of a one-on-one engagement. You peek into FNATIC, you're peeking into 3 people usually.
Chat's being quite funny now. They're doing the little smiley faces whenever we see Magnum. Very good work.
Nice.
I see you.
Nice.
All right, 6-0. Let's see what TENSTAR can bring. The buy's back out. We've got the op here for Polvi. Maybe this could be the game changer. And Russ looking like maybe get that timing right towards middle. Is he going walkabout? He is. All right, deeper wall. Is he going to wall behind himself? He's on top, so he could still nip on over if he fancies. But they're going investigating. Something's looking a little weird here. Something out of place. A new wall's been presented. A 1-for-1 trade out. Not ideal, but he'll take it at this point. But that's not enough here. They need a little bit more of a cleaner victory at this moment, I feel.
I mean, again, it comes back to just there's no second layer to that. It's playing for a 1-for-1. And ultimately, that's not how you break FNATIC apart. Able to sit now. Hopefully going to post up with the operator, and FNATIC will just ride this out for the time being. They'll wait for something to be shown, the catalyst here, them to engage. And it might just be Boaster slipping
30 seconds left
towards yellow here.
Scanning ahead.
How'd you get past Polvi, though? And that's his current task. He's drawn the attention one side. He actually gave himself a peek. It wasn't much of one, but it was a little. Magnum, babyface killer, still alive, but Polvi might not be. 26 HP ain't much to play with, and you're about to be surrounded. You've got a player hunting you down. It's Boaster. Says hello, catches him out, and now the spike's down, and you've got Stanley and old Cray trying to play this back in. I don't know where you're going to find value in this. Stanley's got a lot of Utility kind of denying maybe even that middle place. They're kind of forced to play through on CT. Walls in the way, and the ultimate on the other side. Peekaboo Boaster says hello. Stanley, good control on the second attempt there. Spots another. It's Mystic, but all time being bought. Hypoc, this is a landslide.
Yeah. I mean, I made the point earlier. It's effectively with how these first 6 rounds go. If you look at this scoreline, even now, TENSTAR answer back. What does it mean? Bigger picture, what does it mean? Really, you're looking for TENSTAR to just kind of almost shake them off and just be like, right, guys, we literally just need to shift the pace, because right now FNATIC are in total control. TENSTAR can't play this sort of game that we just saw there, where Polvy's going to sit behind yellow. And there's no real response to anything that they're shown. They need to be decisive. They need to be proactive here on their defense. They can't just sit with the setup.
Chico coming out. Stanley well posted up on this.
Careful.
Magnum sees the shoulder, takes the life of Stanley, and just slowly working away on these players. We've still got Cray here, but FNATIC aren't. FNATIC look so drilled right now. I feel like that last loss probably left them pretty displeased. I want to see just clean approaches from FNATIC, and that's exactly what they're giving us. We kind of said it'd be nice to see them looking like the favoured side, playing to their strength, and I think we are right now. TENSTAR haven't been given room. It's just purely this, you know, machine-like approach, purely clinical, mean in business. And Polvy and Brody trying to play him back on the flank, and it's going to be Magnum.
One enemy remaining.
Finds one, and Doma got the second. Yeah, FNATIC going through the motions here. They are making this look simple work.
They are indeed. Here again, we're going to see the buy round coming back in. The problem is when you're staring down this sort of a deficit, it's very difficult, especially as the IGL, especially as any other member of TENSTAR, to be honest with you, to be the one to stand up and say, guys, look, we got to push out here. We got to take a couple of these rounds into our own hands, and the problem then becomes, you find a first blood, you trade 1 for 1. Like I said with that play with Russ in mid, it's just not enough. That's not how you break FNATIC here. It needs to be so decisive coming back in here.
With the op?
I mean, this is the sort of thing I want to see.
There it is. This is disruptive, potentially. I mean, Durka might check it, but do you expect it on? You don't expect the timing. The timing on both. Yeah, oh, there it is. A 2 for 1 trade out, and it's just open. FNATIC are so prepared.
Yeah.
And every time I try and say these, like, sweeping, you know, quite committed statements, I see Magnum's goddamn face looking at me.
Well, that's the thing there, and that's the real difference, right? And the pedigree of FNATIC is that layer, that contingency, the backup plan to actually, if somebody does drift out and do something stupid here, Boaster pops his L drone, and there's somebody in place to protect him. Yes, it comes through, he finds a kill, but look at it. It's a 2 for 1 trade, which heavily favors FNATIC on the attacking side. We know that.
Again, I want to kind of look at how TENSTAR got here. You know, being Rex, did lose out to Liquid, beat BDS, beat
30 seconds
Heretics.
left.
I mean, these guys took down some big names.
Revealing area.
I feel like FNATIC are, this is FNATIC just kind of playing, not, I'd also say perfect, that's a bit of a statement, but, you know, playing exceedingly well. And now 18 seconds left. Playing it down to the wire here. Late lurk in middle as well. Keep that building in the back of your mind. Spike to be planted, but it'll not be stopped here. They could be in trouble. Actually, Magnum's been dealt with. Smile not wiped off his face just yet, as Russ has actually found 2. That's a big game changer here. Doma called upon, and Doma delivers. No time left, though. It had to be a fight!
What is Mystic doing there? What are you doing there? I'm talking about contingencies. There you go. Yeah, you run out of time. Don't worry. Mystic's flanking through hut. What?
I thought he was in middle. I thought he was just lurking mid. Look at him
here
now,
at this
he's in
point.
kitchen.
Enemy remaining.
Yeah, I mean that's the cherry on top. That's the rattler right there. Cause
I'm out of the server. I'm uninstalling.
You're right. No, don't worry, guys. The clock will win this one for us. Oh no, forgot about Mystic.
Oh, of course, yeah, the Viper coming through kitchen. Silly me. Bloody hell. Old TENSTAR getting an absolute battering. Boaster up on a plate. Thank you very much. That was identified a lot earlier by Stanley, but once again the trade comes in. So FNATIC never quite letting this get away from them. They're still keeping control on this. It's 9-0.
Your duty is not
Rez
over.
comes through. This is light work for them, which is again credit to FNATIC to play so well. Doma, simple stuff. The man is so sharp today. And Stanley, light armor and a rifle. Doing the best he can. He's got a lot of work in front. He is gambling correctly towards that B site. And what can he do with this? Give him a quick deny. Yeah, well. Gets a spike plant, can't get the player. FNATIC's elevation is phenomenal, but there's no two ways to put it, Hypoc. This is just, you know, FNATIC winner cam right now. This, you know, what are you meant to do with this? I need to see more from TENSTAR. They haven't broken double digits on a single player. They're struggling to maintain this. It feels like an outclass here.
Rest.
Yeah, it does, which is surprising considering what we've seen of TENSTAR, because they've been the ones to really elevate themselves to the opponent they're matched up against. And that's really where we've seen them be most successful. This here is... I mean, to come out of a day like yesterday and bounce back into the first map like this, it's a huge positive for FNATIC, but...
Pushing me.
Yeah, where are we going here?
Take me by the hand.
Where even are we?
Man. Zilv just being left out on an island after his disastrous behavior on Twitter. Saying, oh, no technical, you know, worries.
No overtime
DCs,
yet, Hypoc.
OTs.
Don't worry about it.
When someone's about to jinx you, it's just Zilv. You just see Magnum smiling at you. That's it. We all could be back underway.
Ross, the UI again.
Don't worry about it. They'll come back in.
I mean, there's no information we need to know on there anyway.
FNATIC are winning.
We know, yeah.
So
We've
far.
got a pretty good understanding of what's going on.
And look, there's a very... Because this is quite a British lobby, I feel like there's a wonderful phrase that we can bring out is, you can't really polish a turd, Hypoc. And really, unless TENSTAR pull off something miraculous in the next couple of rounds, this is GG go next.
Yep.
And at the moment, it's Doma starting as he left off. Russ has been found in middle. That now opens up everything. It's going to be that A piece again. If they fancy it, yeah, there's an ult in the way. So maybe they explore somewhere else. But luckily to them, they suddenly got a key to open up middle. So they can kind of dip back through if they fancy it.
This here, I mean, it's sort of round that you look for TENSTAR to capitalize on this control that they have over A site. And I'm seeing Cray and Brody send out a couple of feelers in mid, but FNATIC again just happy to sit back. They're waiting for TENSTAR to give something else away, even after Russ has fallen. They're just in punish mode.
Yep. Purely.
Enemy tag.
Turret down.
Got him. And yeah, they're
30
taking the
seconds
territory.
left.
Now, I do want to see if Polvi can maybe highlight something to us. I'm excited by the concept of what he could bring, but he's just, again, all the utilities so well placed, so well positioned to kind of, again, neuter what he can do, deny the possibility. Great spot from Cray to keep that in the back of his mind. Doma does get caught by that, but the trade instantaneous for Magnum. And speaking of, he's going walkabouts. Of course he is. He'll post himself up in kitchen. The turret goes in, he can kind of fall away from that as Tommy's got his back. And now you look at what's remaining. 3 players. Polvi unable to really get much done. The walls, the utility just instantly bringing this to, you know, a couple of feet's difference. Dirk is already watching the push through. He's still maintaining this, playing off the back of this utility is so well placed, Hypoc.
Player standing.
Yeah, Magnum, again, I got to credit it. I'll talk about it after this round, but he's single-handedly removed Stanley from this round. In terms of this rotation here, he's actually now backfilled him in the top of kitchen. That was actually insane to watch. I was staring at the minimap the whole time to see what Stanley was going to do, because he was sat on boiler, he hears the turret get put in kitchen, and then Magnum literally just walks around for the next 20 seconds, and Stanley, he can't make a noise at all.
No.
It literally makes it like a 2v4 for his teammates. And that's the sort of impact that Magnum has on rounds like that, where it's like, I'm not just going to cut you off in rotation. It's a wild goose chase, trying to find him.
Here.
Have we had a 13-0 yet?
Scanning ahead.
Yeah,
don't
this
know.
one.
Not yet. Okay. Doug, they're sorry. They know they have a read on literally every part of this. TENSTAR. I mean, if anything, it's flattery. FNATIC having to be fully prepared for you, and this might be the game changer. Here we go. Maybe there's a bit of difference. Polvi, forced away, down to 6 HP. Just about keeps his life, though.
It is a 2v3. Mystic and Durka left here to try and recover this. Polvi very low HP.
One enemy
Poison's
remaining.
gone.
Brody as well. Actually, Mystic
Brilliant.
gonna fall here. Good work from Polvi. Potentially
that.
to get them on the board.
I love that read, knowing that you could go, they'd want that additional step. Durka just trying. Durka's not going to get away. There it is. First round on the board. It's going to be written down in my notes in case I forget how to
Switching
count the one
sides.
round. 11-1. And TENSTAR, well,
Hey, well,
well,
to say this pistol round is important, Lauren.
slight
would be,
understatement, right?
Yes, would not do it justice. Again, I mean, it's just got to be. This has got to be brute force for me. You asked
Yep.
me how they should play this. It just needs to be fast and furious. I mean, because again, it covers you both sides of it, right? Either the map's over, done, mental reset, cool, next map. But before we get to the next map, how do you feel about just holding on for a moment or two?
Well, we have a lot to talk about in 11-1.
We do. We do.
Are we ready to kind of like break down the wall and have a discussion about it? So here's the thing, right? As much as people are like, oh, but why aren't you hyping up FNATIC? Or this is a crazy performance. You want a close game, right? For analysts and, you know, your thinking men out there who love these sort of things. Yeah, we can highlight everything that FNATIC does right, but there's no answer, which is the problem, right? It's not that next level of, you know, maybe adaptation from TENSTAR. We need to see that little bit of a back and forth to really get the lay of the land. Whereas a game like this that is brutally one-sided, it's FNATIC do good, TENSTAR doesn't have an answer. So that's you know, call it what it is. There's no need to lie to you. We don't need to kind of pretend it's something it's not. You know, it's how it goes. It is credit to FNATIC. They've made up for what was a couple of pretty stressful games, I'm sure, leading into this. But let's see if TENSTAR has anything. Hypoc, you said brute force is needed. I kind of want to see it. I want to see what these guys can do. I've yet to fully get the grip on, you know, what makes these guys tick. Right now, we haven't seen it yet in this map, but hey, maybe there's a run to be had.
Essentially, yeah. So you're going to try and get themselves down B lane quickly as possible, but already 3 bodies at least lent in the way of B. FNATIC now actually look as they might drift out of this. Try and bait out some of that utility. Tap into plant. Cray and Stanley actually going to slip through tube here.
Yeah, this could be nice. This could get some pressure on it. Okay, wall goes up, so Doma tries to keep himself at least safe from one of the 2 potential angles. Stanley hears all this, though. Spots out Boaster. That's a big claim. He knows that Doma's there, but Doma still wins out. Doma's been having a series, by the way. We'll make note of that soon, because Mystic also got one, so this is still not over yet. FNATIC actually maintain the numbers, and here comes Durka, makes his appearance, says hello, says goodbye! That's 2 huge kills found. Russ and Brody put to the bed, and Polvi. A 1, be now 3. Spike gonna get to halfway, 100% has to hit the reload. 5 bullets left, that's all he's got to play with. Make it 2, make it not matter. Defuse can be carried on. The last man standing being Mystic, and there's 12 on the board.
Yep, and we're looking at map point now. It's again the right sort of start to that round, but again it's a real testament to just see FNATIC's response there, which is we'll lean away from holding on to B lane. We anticipate the split coming through, and even small things like Doma walling himself in hallway there, like you said, it gives him a little safety net, something to sit behind to at least isolate one of those 2 angles. Yeah, again, no surprises. The force purchase coming back in.
Scanning ahead.
Again, similar sort of pace initially. First few seconds. You get straight up through tube, actually.
Certainly could. Look at this pressure. TENSTAR playing like they're leading 12-1. They're trying to just be bold, do what they can, and they've actually got the first 2. Terra and Boaster do answer back, but by now it's down to the very last few standing. Boaster's still going to capitalize towards Cray, which puts us into a 2v2, right? This is where the options for FNATIC now truly begin. Polvi, just about made it out. 27 HP, ain't much to write home about, but again, Boaster's only got a little sting up, and Brody's found him. It's now all on Durka. Just don't put it past him. Finds one. He knows that Brody was nearby as well. Knows that he was towards CT if Boaster's been calling it out, which I'm sure he has been. There's the confirmation. And he's still got a fair amount of utility to play with here. Baits it on the first, and he was almost there. Brody saving his side for at least another round.
Again, the timing just working out perfectly for him there. Obviously gets the recon reset just after that kill comes through onto Polvi. And plays it perfectly. The plant way out in the open. Really difficult for Durka to get anything done there. They live to fight another round at least here on ICEBOX. Gonna chuck a couple of marshals at this on the side of FNATIC. Polvi already got that Blade Storm as well, so
Get out of my way.
maybe get something else going at least for another round.
Oh. I don't know how that fight just went down. Dirk has walked away half HP, but he's still kind of going on the fights. And look at Russ and Polvi. The HP is a little lower, but they can get a heal off soon, hopefully. Brody finds Boaster. It's a bit manic. FNATIC looking for any opportunity, not being given any. And clean work from TENSTAR. He said brute force. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah, nice little set piece to get control of, at least underneath pipes, and there's early friction points towards A. Again, lesser weaponry on the side of FNATIC. A couple of tags, but no frags, as you'd say. That's one of your sayings, you know. I desperately try and find something else to say, and I always come back to it.
Say it again. Just
Gets the tag, but not the frag.
yeah. Machine like to add on, puts him towards a body bag, I think. Something, you know, he really tried to add on. And the best part is I stole that from, you know, Tosspot back in the day. Every caster just steals from the other, and we hope we say it in an iconic enough moment that people think it's ours. It's brilliant. Just yell the words and hope they land. 12-3. TENSTAR. Show me what you got. I'm all aboard. I'm all aboard the comeback train. Ready? Form a ticket. As Monty once said, you know, I'll just quote every caster that said something slightly iconic. I'll need a simply sensational, you know, run like that. And Stanley looking hungry. Wanted to get a bite from the big apple. Really easy doing that. And Stanley can at least get some audio cues. I wonder how much he gets out of this, though. They put some utility towards it, so he's not going to be completely unchecked on. The rest of TENSTAR are starting that B piece already, but there it is. Stanley did find Doma, so good value garnered already, and he's going to be a problem in middle. Going to call back that Killjoy to try and handle him, which is Magnum, and he wins it. So at least that threat's now been dealt with, but look at the lurk. Durka on the way around the backside. He's going to find potentially 3 players over by Snowman. This is going to be a huge issue. Magnum just needs to live. By the time you can see them just holding down, hitting the brace, because FNATIC's got Boaster and Durka holding them down.